Okay, coming to you live from Western Pennsylvania, the seat of our nation's democracy, where usually nothing interesting happens. Has anything happened recently?
There was a shooting yesterday.
Oh my God.
Wait, we should say this is the field between. Welcome.
Oh yeah, welcome to the field between.
I'm Yasmin.
I'm Ahmed.
And it's been a while.
Yeah.
When did we last record?
I don't know. It's been like 3 months.
I think it was maybe April. We hit 50 episodes and we stopped recording.
And we stopped. We gave up.
We didn't give up. We took a break.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
the same thing.
We'll get to the news about Trump shooting in Pennsylvania. But before that, I wanted to just do some kind of like life updates. What have we been up to?
We had the little wedding ceremony.
It was much bigger than our first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We moved.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're preparing to go to Egypt.
Yeah.
So a lot of things going on.
We overpacked this summer, honestly.
Yeah.
But
I have COVID and you had COVID.
I had COVID. This is the second time that I've gotten COVID then given it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You usually go out and get it and bring it back home.
What? That makes it so much worse than it is.
Yeah.
You give me stuff too.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the wedding was super fun. It was everything I wanted, honestly. I thought it was really special and lovely, and it felt like a genuine recommitment. Our first ceremony 2 years ago was also really special and wonderful and has like a really important place in my heart. Because that's when we actually got married, but most of my friends, or many of my friends, are from outside of North Carolina and weren't there for that one. So it was really fun to celebrate with like more of our loved ones. Yeah, it was just a good time. Like I genuinely had a lot of fun. I saw so many people and I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We set goals on the way home. It felt like a really nice kind of reset.
Yeah, it was a good time. You got to hold the microphone to your face.
Okay.
You forgot how to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was very sweet. We got the photos back, so we got to start looking through those.
Oh, I posted.
Yeah. I'm too sick. I'm just too tired to do anything lately.
Then our move was honestly a move from hell. It was awful.
It wasn't a move from hell.
I thought it was. I thought it was terrible, honestly.
We've had worse moves.
I don't think we have, because I think it was just such a design challenge. Like I love this space, but we moved.
Setting the place up.
Yeah, it's an open space loft, which we're trying to.
The moving itself was not so bad.
No, the actual move. I mean, we hired movers, so yeah, that wasn't so bad. But I think partially it was just like we had just got back from the wedding, and that was so special and fun, but we're like still kind of tired and catching our breath. And then we moved, and everything was just like a pile because it's an open space concept loft, and so it was just like a pile of boxes that we had to then figure out like how to style the apartment at the same time as you're unpacking. It was just like a lot. But yeah, it's up and running now, which is great. My parents came and were super, super helpful, which was really appreciated. Yeah, I think we're like 85% there. What do you think?
Yeah, but we blew our budget.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like we don't have that much to do, but the things that we need to get
require money.
Yeah,
so I think next month we'll finish it off. Yeah. And now we're going to Egypt, which we're really excited for, but it was a big trip to plan. But now I kind of just feel like ready to go. Like there's not much left to do. Just got to go and enjoy it.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about people going to Egypt and their experiences.
It's really funny coming home and seeing Ahmed on the couch watching YouTube videos, because it's very much a thing his parents do is watch YouTube videos of Egypt. So it's very cute.
What's going on outside?
I don't know.
I think there's a fight happening.
That's not good.
It's hot outside.
It is.
People are getting angry.
Yeah.
Getting a little shooty. Getting a little yelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we should hit on what happened, given that it was 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh.
Sure. Only last update I'll give is that the COVID is not too bad. I got it Tuesday. It lasted for 4 days. I'm feeling better now, but at least we got it.
Pretty bad.
It was pretty bad, but at least it was super bad actually. I felt a lot more sick than the first time I got it, But I also feel better now, so that's nice. Inshallah, you feel better. We've got a whole week before we go to Egypt, or like 8 days, so I think at least we'll be more immune for that trip.
Yeah.
All right, Trump. So this
they
actually
got him for truth.
This actually it's in Butler, Pennsylvania, which is about like 45 to 50 minutes from here, and that was supposed to be there today
For your writing.
for my little writing retreat, which I canceled because I just needed some kind of normalcy.
Suspicious.
Yeah, but I missed
Suspicious
it.
that you canceled it.
I missed it by a day. I should have been there right now.
What exactly did you miss?
I don't know. I guess a lot of press in town.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. It just happened yesterday, and then the rest of the night I was just scrolling through my phone to figure out what people are saying about it. I'm sure by the time this comes out, the conspiracy theories will like already be out there.
They started like immediately. Yeah.
What do you? I mean, yeah. What do you make of it?
I'm just glad he's not Muslim. That was my only concern. The shooter.
Oh.
Yeah, and Trump, I guess.
Trump kind of Muslim.
No.
He's like
really.
Like the new kind of Gulf Saudi guy. You don't think so?
Nah, that doesn't.
He doesn't drink.
That doesn't only come in a flavor of Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing. We were like, oh man, I really hope this guy doesn't even have like or the whoever it is. We didn't know if it was it's always a guy. But I was like, I hope it's not someone with even a remotely Muslim name.
Or like
not even a woman named Ali.
Yeah, I didn't even want it to be someone who was like Muslim curious or Islam curious. And
yeah.
It doesn't seem like it is. So,
As of today, people are saying the kid was a registered Republican, but who knows? You know, that doesn't really mean much.
Yeah.
It's still too early to say.
Unclear what his motives were. Trump did a great job reacting.
Oh God, that photo is great.
He raised up his hand and
really but I think it's going to be undermined slightly, but probably not too much because people are saying that by the time he got up, the Secret Service had already confirmed. They're like, oh, we got the shooter. Mm-hmm. So get him out of there, So would he have stood up if he hadn't heard that?
Right. If he wasn't in danger. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it's a great photo. It's we should watch that movie now that just came out about the journalists in this. It's called Civil War.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're living through that. I don't need to see like a movie satirizing that.
Yeah, I don't think it's satirizing. I think it's like a serious drama.
Yeah, but it was a big day for Western Pennsylvania. It was a
huge day.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's no way Biden's gonna win. Biden's absolutely cooked, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still curious to see if they try running someone else or what will happen.
They have to now. I mean, even now, if they run someone else, that person's pretty much guaranteed to lose. So who is gonna want to put themselves in that position? It's almost career suicide. So it's like the kiss of death if they put someone else. I don't think it's
career suicide. I think it would still create like exposure for some people for like next round potentially. Yeah.
You think they're going to throw Pete Buttigieg up there?
Nah. I think also what's more likely is that they have to keep Kamala in order to keep a lot of the funding. So it's kind of like Kamala would be the president on the ticket, and then someone else would have to be vice president.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kamala's polling is not that much better than Biden's. It's like incrementally, like slightly better.
I actually would have expected hers to be worse. It's as good, at least.
It's risen slightly in the last couple weeks. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like if they keep Biden on, the only way he can win, arrest Hillary Clinton.
That's so random. Why?
Because it appeals to both bases.
I don't think it appeals to both bases.
He's got to just do something nuts.
I mean, he already does a lot of stuff. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Something that was so frustrating during the debate was just seeing all the like mainstream commentary on like, oh, no idea that we didn't know that Biden was so out of it. Whereas like, I think for some reason most leftists just like already knew that. Like there were so many gaffes and there were so many like
there have been gaffes since 2019 or 2020. Yeah, when he was
but especially
running.
in the last like year or two, like it's just something that's talked about pretty constantly, the fact that he's not mentally fit. And it was like the Times woke up the day after and they were like, oh my goodness, this is being hidden from the public.
Yeah.
It was strange.
People have been saying this for 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll also pat myself on the back for getting on that like that early, because I was like, they're going to replace Biden at the convention. Everyone said, Ahmed, you're a crazy man. And I said, no, you wait. And now everyone's like, oh, should we replace Biden at the convention?
Yeah. When is the convention?
Is it today?
Democratic convention?
Yeah, or maybe it's the 17th. I don't.
Oh, is it that soon?
It's yeah.
It's in August.
Oh, it's in August.
Yeah, in Chicago. August 19th.
19th.
Yeah. So we got some time still.
Yeah,
we'll see how it pans out.
The other crazy thing that just happened after that is that immediately all these billionaires who like we knew were conservative, like immediately declared for Trump.
Like Elon
but conservative
Musk.
Who also like try to play like progressive sort of. Yeah, so Elon Musk immediately was like, "I love you, Trump," and just like
such
sucked
a
him
moron.
off so hard on Twitter.
Yeah, he's so silly.
And Bill Ackman's the other one who formally endorsed Trump. Who is the guy who got Claudine Gay fired from Harvard. And
then his wife plagiarized.
Yeah, but like Bill Ackman's ostensibly, again, like kind of a liberal, you know? And for a while he was backing Dean Phillips, who was running against Biden within the party, and was like, Dean Phillips is really the guy. Everyone's got to listen to him. And now it's just like, no, he's completely... I want to say abandoned principles, but he doesn't have any. Like, he just is for Trump now. It's strange that like Trump getting grazed by a bullet on his ear makes people feel the need to like come out and support him. Yeah. I kind of feel like they should have done it earlier, or yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it was crazy. I wonder what we're going to find out about the shooter soon. I'm glad he wasn't wearing like a furry tail and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just glad he wasn't someone they could immediately peg as like, this is a leftist. He didn't have, leftists aren't furries. He didn't have like pink hair. What are you talking about? You know Being a furry doesn't make you a leftist. I'm talking about like the right wing conception of a leftist. Like, he wasn't like an alt looking kind of, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have, just a regular white guy, which by the way, like 90% of like crazy shooters are. Yeah. So I'm glad he fit the mold. Same. Yeah, it's kind of a dark thing, but I'm sure that we're not the only ones. I think a lot of groups of people, that's their first thought is like, hey, let it be just a regular white guy. Mm-hmm. What else? In terms of Western Pennsylvania news, we had the furry convention. Speaking of furries. Have the furry convention. So we moved downtown, which is, it's a weird neighborhood. So we live in a Rust Belt city. So there used to be like... a lot of steel production and a lot of factories, and those things have gone, but we're left with like some really beautiful infrastructure from when the city used to be a little bit more populous. But downtown where we live, I'd say is like fairly dead. There's some things happening, but it's not like the most vibrant neighborhood ever. But there is a convention center downtown, and the largest furry convention in the world happens here. And it was really kind of charming, honestly. Anthrocon it's called. Yeah, it's just like the most happening downtown I've ever seen it. Like, there are just furries everywhere for so a whole week. Were actually not here to experience. I was here for the beginning of it, but yeah, I was not here for the height. You went to a bachelorette party. You went to New York. Oh no, I was actually still in Pennsylvania. You went to close enough to New York that I consider it anything east of Harrisburg is New York. So Philadelphia. Yep. That's New York. Nah, I was in Lake Harmony, PA. As far as us Western Pennsylvanians are concerned. That's not the real Pennsylvania. You go east of Harrisburg, that's New York. You haven't even been to Harrisburg. Yeah, I've driven through. But we haven't stopped there, have we? Why would we stop in Harrisburg? It's also true. Yeah. Okay, continue. Yeah, so there's a guy carrying like 3 different flags outside. Nice. Yeah, so I was actually here, and the apartment that we're in has a pretty large window facing one of the main streets in downtown, and we live a block away from the convention center where it happened. So I got prime vantage point. You were just furry spotting all weekend? To be able to just look at furries all week. And a couple of our friends came, and we all like watched them together. And it really made, you know, as far as I am from that subculture, it really is nice to just have something going on downtown.
100%.
It made it feel very joyous. There's like a lot of people. It's an interesting thing, even if you're not part of it. Even if you're not part of that subculture, it's still interesting to observe.
We should have like our big religious studies conference in Pittsburgh. It's a really affordable city. We always have it in like San Diego or Boston, which are like so expensive.
Yeah.
And you need it in a city that has large enough convention centers. I think we do here.
Huge convention center.
Yeah.
My question is like, why do the furries, they always book it in the middle of the summer? And it was like 100 degrees and they wear these big furry costumes.
It must be intentional. It must be like prove your mettle. Like you're only a real furry if you can sweat it out, you know?
The theory that I heard is that they get a discounted rate on the convention center because...
Oh, more people want to be here in the winter?
I guess, but that doesn't really make sense
yeah,
either.
Winter here is kind of rough.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm guessing it's just when a lot of people happen to have off from work.
Maybe. We read some stats on furries. Most of them are like...
I love that you and our friends are just like here researching.
Most of them are under the age of 25, so that tells me that maybe they're students or something.
Yeah, some of them were young.
Yeah. I mean, there are people there with... So it's not... You keep saying this in a way that makes it seem like it's a purely sexual thing.
I think most stuff is very sexual, but yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's a way of life. It's a way of...
I mean, I guess
like... There's a sexual... Think about it like you're living another life.
Uh-huh.
Or like Ren Fair, you know? Like
yeah, if I think about like...
happening.
I know that people also go to like anime conventions and those are like a lot of like really young kids go and that's not like weird. They just like dress up and stuff. So I guess there's like some crossover, but I don't know.
We saw some really good costumes. We'd kind of rate them as they went by. Or fursonas, rather.
What?
Fursonas,
that's the term?
That's the,
Oh.
There was one that was a moth that was really cool. That was very unique because most people kind of do the same sort of...
Cat or dog.
It looks like a Lisa Frank style costume. That's what most people settle on.
Also, a moth is just like a kind of more unique animal.
Moth is unique, yeah. Not a lot of winged animals. You saw some dragons. Usually, if someone was fully suited, so like not everyone can afford a full suit. So it seems like there's some level of inequality
in the furry world.
For sure, yeah.
Of course.
Need some sort of like redistributive system because like 5% of the furry attendees were the ones who were fully suited.
Right.
Like
I mean, that's like any like hobby or travel you see. Yeah. Like differentiation. This is a weird thing to compare it to, but like...
They need a furry Bernie Sanders.
Do you know what I'm thinking? When you go on like Hajj or pilgrimage, like, you know, like there are some people that get to stay in like tents and then there's some people who stay in like air conditioned rooms, exactly. You know, yeah.
Well, no, some of the fur suits have like little fans and cooling systems in them. Others don't, obviously.
Yeah.
So you see some people rolling up in their full suit and you assume they probably have some sort of cooling system inside of it. And then you see others who are
just a tail.
Look like they're, you know, taking their like lunch pail to work. They're carrying their head, wearing like a piece of their costume. They look like they're about to clock into a shift.
Right.
You know, I guess they'll just put it on when they get there, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it varies.
It varies. There was a furry DJ at the cafe below, so they had a little.
You didn't go to that, did you?
Furry block party. I went outside in the courtyard while that was happening.
Nice.
So I heard it.
Cool.
Seemed nice.
How do you like our new area overall?
Well, one more thing on the furries. So I saw there was a dragon one. There was a guy who had a light up head. That was cool.
A what?
Light, like he had lights in his costume.
That's cool.
So that he could express emotion.
That's nice.
Yeah. And we also learned that some people get depressed after Anthrocon.
That makes sense because you like are with everyone and then you're alone.
Yeah, isn't that sad?
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like any like kind of, you know, what's the word Durkheim used, effervescence, like any kind of like large scale meeting is gonna kind of create some bubbly energy. Then it's hard when that's gone.
Yeah. That makes me so sad.
I'm sorry.
I kind of have post Anthrocon depression too.
I think you also just have COVID. You haven't been able to leave and see people as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I like the new area? I think it's great. I like the way that the buildings are stacked and kind of layered in downtown Pittsburgh is really beautiful.
Yeah.
So
I love that you love that. It's very sweet.
It's fun to kind of walk around. There are a lot of different alleyways. There is a relatively large population of like homeless people here. And I'm not sure what policy ended up concentrating everyone downtown.
I think we do know, right? Because they closed a couple of the shelters, and then they also cleared the encampments by the water. So I think people just kind of got pushed here.
So do you think this is recent then? I thought it was always this way.
I mean, I think also downtown has a lot of like abandoned buildings and stuff, and also a lot of like cheap, affordable fast foods. So probably like a confluence of factors.
Yeah.
That plus closing, shelters.
Yeah. We also live adjacent to like a Planned Parenthood and a anti-abortion baby clothing store.
Which sounds ridiculous than it is, but yeah, they keep
you gotta hold the microphone to your mouth.
They keep a little I guess it's like a diagram of a fetus, and they bring it out. They're so annoying, that the protesters there. I can't stand them. We've blown up at them a few times, but now I just kind of avoid them. I mean, not only are they awful and trying to like make people feel bad who are just accessing basic healthcare, but they're also just like really rude.
Really?
Yeah, like twice now I've been meeting someone from Facebook Marketplace because we're buying stuff for the apartment and we're getting rid of stuff, and both times they've been like, hey, you can't park here, or like just like little like cops, and it's like literally no one asked you. You're just sitting here protesting. You don't own this block.
Yeah.
Or like, I've been waiting for someone and they'll try talking to me and I'm like, hey, I live here. And they keep on talking to me, and I'm clearly not trying to fucking go to Planned Parenthood. I just am existing on the street. They're just, they're very aggressive. But yeah, I mean, it's awful. It's really shitty to think that people have to go through that just to access healthcare. I mean, I used that Planned Parenthood once. I don't remember there being protesters that day. Now I'm wondering if I was just kind of being a space cadet, but I did have to go through a metal detector, which I have I had to do that at other Planned Parenthoods before? Actually, I think I have. This one included a little, what's it called when they kind of metal baton they kind of run over your body also. So this one was like a wand. Yeah, this one was a little more intense, but it's pretty annoying.
Yeah. Anything else on downtown? No.
I found a Turkish breakfast place that I love.
Yeah, you like that spot?
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
I didn't love it. I think their prices are out of whack. Because what they do, they sell you so that the egg with the sausage by itself, $14. If you get the breakfast for $2, they give you that same thing,
but then lots of extras for $22.
No.
Yeah.
No. They give you the same portion.
Yeah.
With like, and then they give you some like olives, a little
cheese,
like cucumber, a
honey,
little cheese.
Yeah.
So like a bunch of sides.
Yeah.
Like really cheap sides.
They are cheap, but they definitely are filling and add up.
Twice the price. So you're not saying it's the same.
It's not the same though. All those extras are really delicious. Like that's what I love about Turkish breakfast. All those
extras should not add up to another like.
Honestly, I think 22 to be very full. Like
it's not 22. It's 28.
It's 22.
No, it's 28.
It's definitely 22.
Okay, we're gonna look at the menu. It's 28.
I'm pretty sure it's 22. I think it's been 28 because we've gotten drinks and stuff.
No, it's 28 on the menu.
Really? Anyway, my parents loved it. I loved it. It's one of my favorite spots for breakfast in the whole city.
Yeah. Oh, we got exiled from our formerly favorite coffee place. We're in self-imposed exile.
Yeah.
Because your mom, shout out, loves milk in her coffee too dang much. And apparently that offended one of the owners, and
It was
just, like,
bizarre.
he flew off the handle. It was wild.
It was really weird. He definitely seems to have some kind of like anger issues or some instability. Yeah, it was really uncomfortable. I mean, actually, I wasn't there. I was waiting in line, but from what I heard, and it's too bad because we love that spot, and we would have happily continued to go there.
Yeah,
it is 28. You're right. I still think it's worth it though.
28.
Yeah. I don't know. We paid for a lot of other stuff that I think is pretty pricey, and I feel like this is like a $28
You gotta
for
hold the microphone to your
$28, and basically it's like breakfast and lunch for 2 people. I think that's still pretty good. Yeah, and I love the vibe there.
22. I wouldn't be making this complaint. I'd be like, okay, that's a little bit reasonable.
I don't know. I really like it. I also just love Turkish breakfast. Like I love like all the little bits and bobs.
Yeah, you like variety.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I like cheese.
You like cheese? Yeah, that's good.
I want Turkish breakfast now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of updates.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Egypt? What do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's weird because I mean I'm really intrigued to see how you feel because I mean you left when you were 5, right?
Yeah, I packed up my bags. I said I gotta get out of here.
I gotta go to the promised land of Thomasville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
No, first your family went to the UAE for 2 years, right?
No, my dad worked there.
And were you there for a year?
I was there for like a total of 10 months.
Oh, that little. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, so you left Egypt when you were 5, and then you left the UAE when you were 6 or something?
No. I left Egypt when I was 5. In my first 5 years of living, I lived in the UAE for like 10 months.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I think, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how you feel. I feel like there's a lot of stuff about like quote unquote going home and what that means to people. It's almost like a little bit like you're going for the first time because you were so young when you left.
Yeah. We got to say before we go, we love what Cece's doing with the place.
Yeah, we think it's great.
So, and
Please let us in.
We were formerly one of the top 140 podcasts in Egypt. We probably are not anymore.
Oh no, we've probably fallen from grace. And it's probably a good thing, honestly, in time for immigration for this trip. But
yeah, so love what he's doing with the place.
Yeah, no complaints.
Yeah, we were watching some videos yesterday where this guy brought like a whole film crew, and they confiscated all of his cameras and made him delete the footage because they didn't like the way he was capturing some of the markets.
He didn't think it was beautiful enough. Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely the right move. I think that is.
That guy was honestly kind of an idiot though. He was allegedly a food blogger and he kept on like being shocked by tahini.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know.
Sunny. It
was so strange though. Reviews. He was just like, it's kind of salty. It kind of tastes like hummus, which tahini is in hummus. The whole thing was so stupid.
Yeah, I think what happened is that this guy I guess tried it for the first. He calls himself a food expert, and he tried it for the first time, I suppose, in Egypt, where he tried tahini, which, and I think as he was editing the footage together, he forgot that he had already introduced tahini, so he did it again.
Yeah.
So there were 3 instances in the same video where he's coming across tahini, and he's just like, "What is this?"
Yeah, he's also trying sheep brain and camel, but this is the one thing that's really fucking him up.
The crazy thing is that this dude used a producer used a tour guide guy as his producer for the trip, who was actually recommended to us for a tour of old Islamic Cairo. Mm-hmm. And it turns out he had a terrible experience with this guy. Yeah,
I would maybe cut this.
Why? I
don't know. I'm trying to get into Egypt.
Well, this guy's not the government.
I know, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Egypt, so I think it'll be cool. I mean, obviously, pyramids and stuff. It's a pretty special place that is pretty iconic. So it'll be cool to visit it.
The pyramids. I am actually excited to. I do or not. I want to see the new museum.
Yeah, I'm down to go to one
It's a
museum,
gem.
but I don't really want to do more than that because there's so much I want to see like outside in terms of architecture and stuff. But I'll go to the new museum.
For several days, so
It's true. Yeah.
yeah.
I want to go to.
Is the biggest museum in the world.
I know. Yeah, wow, you are a
It's
CC
supposed to look
fan.
pretty cool too. Like
That'll be cool.
architecturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Al Azhar. I want to see what is it, Hussein Mosque. I want to see a lot of things. We're staying in Zamalek, which is supposed to be really beautiful and walkable, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in Cairo for I think like 6 or 7 days, and then we're in Alexandria for maybe 6 days. Or no, my bad.
Right
Alexandria for like 4 days. Yeah.
No, we're in. I thought we were in Cairo for like 4 days, and then Alexandria for 2.
Oh no, much longer than that.
I'm gonna look at my calendar.
I think we're in Cairo for like 6 days, because we're on the whole trip for 11.
Yeah, but we have travel days.
That's true.
I
am proud no matter what happens. I'm proud that you made it a priority and that we're going. I know it's important to you, and we went to like Mexico, and there's other places I really want to travel to soon, like Japan and Turkey, and I think that it'll be good to check this off and to have this experience. And money is not infinite, so it's good to like prioritize this.
Yeah. So we are in Cairo for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're right. And
but you were right that
to
Alexandria is much
We're
less.
in Alexandria for like 2 full days.
Okay, and then we travel back.
And then we're back to Cairo
for just that day. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to be very hot, but honestly, I'm not too worried about that. I was in Morocco in the summer. I don't think it's quite as bad, but it's still pretty bad, and you just adjust. And at least we're staying in like a beautiful hotel, so we'll have like a respite,
Get a bucket hat.
Yeah, that'd be cute on you. Well, you also have like your little baseball hat. You can just wear those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not wearing a hat. That ruins my style, but I'll put my hair up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a thing to get back into dressing modestly in the heat. It's not like it's that hard, but it is like a frame of mind switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna wear?
Long ass stuff.
Yeah.
Long skirts, long dresses, but light materials.
I might actually join you. I think I was saying I might buy like a galabeya there.
That'd be cute.
Like real light and airy that I can just wear.
I mean, that's gonna be way more comfortable for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to meet your grandma. I think that's gonna be cute.
We are gonna see some family. I don't know. I haven't really set expectations.
That's probably smart.
I think if we go and have like a reasonably okay time,
we'll be happy.
And nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with the trip.
Same. Yeah, same. I'm excited to see like what is it? The area, like the really old market. I love that kind of stuff. I'm excited to walk around.
Khalili?
Yeah. I'm excited to walk around Zamalek. I'm excited to see Alexandria and go to the beach.
Yeah.
And that's like where your family's from, where you were born.
Yeah. I do want to take my camera.
I'm too afraid. I wouldn't.
But it's an old camera.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. If you feel comfortable, I just feel like it so easily targets you or signals you out, but
I don't think people there are like the most they'll do is try to sell you stuff. And I know enough Arabic to like obviously tell someone to go away and just be like, I'm not.
We'll just ignore them.
And they'll go away, right? Like no one's going to attack you for being a tourist there.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, people don't really,
I mean, people steal cameras all over the world. It's not like I'm thinking it's specific to Egypt.
But you don't set it down. You have a strap. You keep it on a strap. Yeah.
If you feel comfortable, you should go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to really try to blend in as much as possible, but I also, traveling with you obviously is like a lot safer than if I was going alone. I've heard that Egypt is hell for women traveling, which sucks.
Really?
Yeah, it's awful. The like from everyone I've ever heard who's gone, the like rates of harassment are off the charts. They're insane.
Wow.
It's very bad. I mean, Morocco is not great, but I've heard Egypt is like far worse.
Wow, you sound like all those YouTubers.
I mean, it is a really sad phenomenon.
I've been getting a lot on my TikTok feed of like from travel bloggers who are just like, I'm never going to this country ever again. Find out why.
That's also
like,
silly.
They do these rankings of worst countries to travel. Egypt is.
I mean, I also know people who love Egypt,
but I just don't. Yeah, I don't. I think it's like a weird sort of.
It's weird to portray. Yeah, it's weird to portray anything that black and white. You know.
Yeah.
Things are always more complicated, but yeah, I think it's fair to also not paint things rosily either. Sure. Like, I'm just thinking about like, I don't know, when I was in. I guess I'm thinking of Morocco a lot because it's also North Africa and it's a place that I've spent time. But I thought people were exaggerating about harassment, and then I realized it was just because of like my coloring. And I watched like my blonde friend kind of walk around. I was like, oh, it is pretty bad. Like it's not just complaints. It's how much you can blend in sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Moroccans are also like the most kind-hearted people I've ever met. It's not like the average person is out to get you or anything. It's just that like there is unfortunately a culture in some cities, especially more conservative cities like Fez, where if you're not dressed a certain way, you're more likely to, to be followed for blocks. So,
well, you'll be with
a merry lady
and a man who can speak Arabic.
Yeah. So I think it'll be good for us also. Right. We've only traveled once.
I'll take out my nose piercing.
Are you going to?
I gotta put the stud in or something. Something less
at least put the stud in. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's up to what. I mean, you're not gonna look. You're with me, so I think it'll be clear that you are married and in a heterosexual relationship. But yeah.
Please, Habibi, I am heterosex. Who is matching my freaky?
What was I gonna say? I'm excited for the food. I think it'll be so cool. I'm nervous about crossing the street. That's the thing I'm most nervous about. I don't have
my God,
great awareness.
My mom.
Really? I am.
My mom's called me like 5 times to be like, when you cross the street in Alexandria, make sure to do it underground. I'm like, bro, okay,
I agree with her. She sounds right.
Every single time you've called.
I'm afraid.
Like, I think I can figure it out. But I
believe it. You can. I'm just nervous about myself.
She's worried because one of the last couple times that my dad was there, he saw a guy die crossing the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously, like I know how to cross the street.
We got to go to Pakistan together. That'll be interesting too.
Yeah. Next time.
Inshallah. We got to be the homelands, Pakistan and Egypt. And Sweden, I meant to say.
We got to scope out countries to move to.
I don't want to move to any of the countries that we're from.
Okay. Not even Sweden?
No, I don't like Sweden. I mean, it's a beautiful place to visit, but it's so homogenous. I think I'd find it so dull.
It's homogenous because we are not moving there.
That's true. We would help out, but it's so conformist and kind of dull. I don't know. Maybe it's like very American and bratty of me, but I don't feel like I would feel comfortable there. If we did move there, I think Stockholm or Malmo are the only 2 cities I would consider because they're more diverse.
What if we get back from Egypt and I'm like, we have to move to Egypt?
Look, I would love to.
I'm like, I love it.
I would totally live with you in Egypt for a year. I think that would be really cool. I would love to work on my Arabic / like even.
Really?
Yeah, I would do that.
For a year?
100%. I would live almost anywhere for a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Move to Egypt?
Sure.
Wow.
But yeah, beyond that, I don't know. I would live in Morocco for a bit. I would live in Canada, I guess. I don't know. Where else is there to go? There's problems everywhere.
Yeah, there are a lot of countries that we can move to.
I think that we gotta stay here and fight the good fight as long as you can, and as long as it
no
feels...
one here is fighting anyone.
As long
we love the president, no matter who it is. We just love that the office exists.
I think we gotta
and
do
that someone occupies it.
I think we gotta do our best where we are with the communities that we have and the people we love. And if it ever gets to a point that we really feel like, hey, hard to picture like raising a kid here, then I guess you reassess.
So I know you wanted to talk about this book that you read recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been keeping up with online Muslim drama.
No.
But there was an instance of like people talking about like misyar marriages and mut'a marriage.
I know Mata. What's the first thing you said?
Misyar, I think it's like the Sunni version of it.
There's a Sunni version of Mata marriages?
Yeah, I think misyar is like a different sort of contract. It's like based on like marriage contract. It's supposed to be like legally okay with like Sunnis, but it's it's a lot of people like don't actually promote it. So like I think the Sheikh of Al-Azhar was just like, I can't say this is illegal according to Sunni laws, but I also don't like promote it. That's the thing.
Practice of arranged marriage. The husband does not stay continuously in one place with his wife, but visits her regularly at his discretion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the different thing is that it's not temporary.
It's more like
she's not entitled to the living, like the house, or like she forgoes the financial aspects of marriage, I guess.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to read more about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seems like maybe it is like kind of situation where like the prophet had like different wives that he visited, one each week or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were still legally protected.
Yeah. But there was a guy who messaged this like single mother. He sent her a DM voice notes and seemed like he was asking her if she wanted to enter one of these marriages. This is a guy who does dawah on like...
Is this in the UK or the US?
Guess.
UK?
Yeah.
They're the worst.
It's UK Muslims.
They're so bad.
But
honestly, no matter how bad things get here, at least we're not that. They're so funny.
Yeah. But
Okay,
it's like
continue.
a whole thing. Maybe we can cover it at some other point.
I'll be down, yeah.
Yeah. But it like popped off like a couple days ago.
Oh.
Because this woman like leaked all of his voice notes to her.
Good for her.
But then apparently, like he came back and like they both went to some imam and they entered a contract about like she's not allowed. She has to clarify a lot of stuff because apparently she left, according to him, she left a lot of stuff out, and according to her, he left stuff out and all this stuff, and they have to make videos clarifying and all this stuff. But I think just generally the concept of like misyar and mut'a marriage and all that stuff like came to the fore, and people were just like arguing about it again.
That's funny. I think that there's a lot of like...
His name is Zaid or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. And also like he just like went... these guys who do dawah, like... they like start their videos by just being like, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then they say like the longest surah. Like it takes them like a good 2 minutes before they even like say anything. And you're just like, okay. It's so annoying. Anyway, what were you going to say?
We could do a whole episode about this and do some more research ahead of time, because I feel like I have heard interesting arguments, and I think I've mentioned them before on the podcast, as to why temporary marriage could be helpful, just in terms of like dating culture and realistic timelines, the fact that people are getting advanced degrees and not getting married till they're 30. And I think that the same kind of problem that evangelical Christians and a lot of like faith communities that emphasize saving sex for marriage have is that people then are getting married partially to like have sex, or even to experience like closer intimacy. And like there is some wisdom, I think, in having the community protections that come with bearing witness, but then also being married Islamically, but not in the eyes of like the American state, if done properly and thoughtfully. So I feel like there's some wisdom to temporary marriage practices potentially. And I know some folks like us, but Qureshi Lands have talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in essence, it could be kind of what dating is, right? But you're not doing it in secret or having to hide it.
Yeah. There's more of like a community aspect to it where you kind of publicly enter into some level of commitment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's still some level of like stigma against like promiscuity generally, or like things being hidden.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you're like entering some sort of contract with one person,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested in knowing the kind of the different jurisprudences and like legal justifications for it.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I think it was mostly like war and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna be gone for 4 years, so
That's true.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, other Muslim-y update.
Yeah.
I finally read Hijab Butch Blues. I was at a bachelorette party and my cousin had read it. My cousin who's not Muslim, my mom's side of the family. And I felt so ashamed that I hadn't read it. She's like, you haven't read this? Like, it's amazing. And it's something I've been hearing about for a while. And my sister also had read it. So I finally read it. And it was really lovely. It's not a perfect book. No book is perfect. And I think
The Quran's perfect.
well, the Quran is not a man-written book or a human-written book. And I think it bears a lot of the weight of trying to be like one of the first as dealing with the subject matter in this way, you know? But it's still really lovely. The author, Lamia H., when you see photos of her, they're always from the back. She like is writing under a pseudonym and doesn't share her full identity. And the book itself talks a lot about kind of like ways of creating community for queer Muslims, ways of kind of creating queer life. It's a memoir. And then not having to kind of fall into this kind of very like Western conception of like fully coming out and like being out. And the fact that she even sort of writes without giving up her full identity, though I imagine at this point there must be a number of people who obviously have met her and know who she is. She's like won literary prizes and stuff. Yeah, it was really interesting. I think the sweetest thing about the book is it's kind of told as an interplay between like her experiences growing up in some Gulf country, she doesn't say what, and then she comes to the US for college and stays here, makes a life here, finds a partner, dealing with her queerness. So there's those stories, and then also kind of like the stories of the Quran that she grew up with. And it's really sweet, just kind of explaining like the ways that she connected to the text as a kid and then becoming an adult and reading these stories and how they resonate with her. And it's a very kind of just sort of like earnest like tafsir or exegesis through her own experience. And it's really sweet to see that.
Yeah.
So early on in the text, she talks about Surat al-Maryam, and there's a famous there's a famous line when Maryam or Mary is giving birth to Jesus or Isa, and she says like, I wish I had never been born, because she's like in so much pain. And she does like a really beautiful job, the author of the book, talking about like suicidal ideation and just like a God that could forgive you for wishing to not have been here when clearly like you were placed here. And just kind of like the feeling of wanting to disappear, like not even to actively kill yourself, but the kind of feeling of just like not wanting to be. Yeah, like parts like that were like really like breathtakingly beautiful and sad, but then also like lovely and joyous in other parts. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was cool. She also, some of the other
and this author goes by she.
Yes.
Just double check.
Yeah. No, she identifies, I think, as like as a butch lesbian.
Nice.
She also
Me too, pal.
Okay. Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying?
She
So
also
it's a little Western North Carolina, Western PA humor.
She also talks about Musa and Yusuf and goes into their stories and finds some connections there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has she written anything else?
I think this is her first breakout book. I'm not sure what else she's written. Let's see.
When did it come out?
She's written essays. It came out in February 2023. She's probably around our age.
That's old.
It's a young adult.
We're not young adults.
I guess we're just adults at this point.
Like
you're
fully
right.
full ass adults.
I think of like adults as being in their 40s or
what?
But you're right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you were an adult. Yeah. Sorry to break it to you. You're not even a young adult anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah. You're not middle aged.
No. Hopefully not, inshallah. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're closer to middle age than you are to young adult.
I think we're kind of in the middle.
No.
Yeah.
Young adult is like 16, 18.
I think you're a young adult until you're like 24.
No, what are you talking about? You're an adult.
No, you're not an adult when you're in college.
You're not 24 in college.
No, it's true. I guess till 21 then.
Yeah.
I don't know. Young 20s I think of as young adult. Yeah.
Okay.
We are just adult.
Anything else on the book?
I was gonna say the more about like the what it means to come out stuff as being interesting, but I honestly,
why is that a Western conception?
I don't know.
Like, you don't know?
I feel like there's like a lot of just ideas of like that being a process, and then like you are out and that's it, and not kind of leaving room for people who have to have like multifaceted lives where they're quote unquote out in certain contexts but not in others. And I think it's just like less binary. And like in this book she talks about having like an ongoing relationship with her family and how that requires her to be somewhat not her full self, but also that there is no real one space where she is her full self, so just kind of finding like a multitude of spaces that she can exist. And I think that's like a very fair framework for a lot of people. Like just saying like abandon your family is not practical for everyone, whether you're gay or not. I feel like in general there's this kind of idea sometimes of like, well, just ignore your parents, or just like don't talk to your parents. That's like, yeah, there are times where people have to do that and people choose to do that, and that's fair. But that's also not realistic for a lot of people.
Yeah, I feel like that's a kind of a symptom of like this whole like therapeutic self-care boundary stuff, where it's just like you have to always prioritize yourself in order to live a completely frictionless life, and anything that provides some sort of friction necessarily, like it cannot then actually be a source of any sort of fulfillment or like provide any joy or support in your life. It's very black and white way to see stuff. And
it's very individualistic, like you said. Yeah, I agree. It just kind of is about like how do you maximize your own happiness. But I think it's very
hedonistic, right? Like it is focused on like a hedonist.
I don't think it's hedonistic. I think it's individualistic, because I think that like truthfully for most people to be fulfilled and be happy, they do need community, which involves boundaries. Like what's
the difference between like an individualism and hedonism?
Hedonism is just the pursuit of pleasure without worrying about consequences.
Yeah. Wouldn't that make someone individualistic? But I guess not necessarily. Okay.
Yeah, I think my point is that the issue I have with that kind of framework is less like the pursuit of pleasure and more kind of the pursuit of like a very solitary definition of what it means to be happy and successful, as opposed to like realistically, I think it involves like some enmeshment that's not always perfect, you know, and involves community and yeah. But yeah, it's a good book. I'd really recommend it. There are parts where she kind of for a while, I will say one thing is that the narrator rarely like talks about things that they have done wrong, which I find a little bit grating. Like they never rarely
talks about things.
It's kind of like things that happen to them and like ways that they navigate other people, and not always like a reflection on like their own like faults or places they could grow.
So you don't trust the narrator, or?
No, I just kind of prefer like a more nuanced character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's still really lovely and like a really great place to think about identity and think about belonging. Yeah. And spirituality. Yeah. Cool.
So go out and get it, folks.
Yeah.
What's the book again?
Hijab Butch Blues.
By?
Lamia H.
H?
Yep. It's not her full name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool.
We don't know her full name. I bet it's like Hussein or something. We should guess.
Yeah. Let's try to guess this person who wants to remain anonymous.
All right, folks. Well,
thanks. Are you sure their name is Lamia then? They probably just use a fake.
They might just be using a fake one. Yeah, I'm not sure.
We should probably talk about what's happening in Palestine real quick, because unfortunately, I think since the last time we've done an episode, it is really just a continuation of the same policies. But I do think it is just like starting to swing it so that it's really hurting Biden's re-election chances, and they're like starting to realize that. I don't know. Is there anything that you wanted to say on it? I just feel like we should talk about it.
Yeah, no,
obviously it's horrific. And yesterday there was an attack on Khan Yunis in a humanitarian zone, and they're saying they killed Mohammed Def, which I don't know. Like, at the very least, they'll say they targeted him, and they killed 170 people. And it's unclear whether or not they achieved a military objective, but regardless, they killed 170 or more people. And the U.S. government's not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, no, I don't have much to say. I think the other thing that which many other people have said that is frustrating about like all this reflection on Biden's debate performance, like, yeah, it's not great to have a president who's not fully cognate or like is not the most articulate, but the horrific thing is that he's like enabled a genocide, and I mean not just enabled, like actively supported.
He's
so there's like there's you know like a much more important kind of moral imperative to not support him. It's in my mind, and it's like that didn't just happen like, you know, a few weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, they decommissioned that pier that they built. That
was always such a farce, but yeah.
Which maybe moved 8,000 tons of aid, is what they said, which is nothing. And then it was also used as like the base for the like another massacre.
The word Palestinian was also used as kind of like a slur during the debates, which was wild.
I wanted to watch the debates, but I actually ended up not.
I didn't either. I just saw this clip where like Trump basically was like,
he said he's a bad Palestinian.
He said like a Palestinian, as if Palestinian itself was like some kind of negative word. And then Biden, instead of countering it, just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, whatever. I mean, that means nothing compared to like the actual violence that's happening. But there is a kind of interesting way in which like the words that we use are indicative of the way that we see people and humans.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about on the university front? I'm trying to think if there are any, like just generally in academia, if anything's changed.
At Pitt, we're like having some conversations, slow going. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was a New York Times story. I haven't read it yet, so I'll check that out and report back if there's anything interesting. But it was about a lot of Ghazans who are now living in Cairo and what their lives are like now.
That's going to be strange to see. There's so many Palestinians in Egypt. There's also so many Sudanese refugees in Egypt now.
Yeah.
Like huge numbers. I think that's actually hopefully going to be our charity donation for the month, is to Sudanese refugees in Cairo.
Yeah.
Also facing a lot of racism, I think, and a lot of discrimination.
It's a bad world out there.
Yeah.
Except for Sisi's Egypt, the crown jewel of the world, which we are so grateful to be able to visit.
Yes. All right, folks. Well, thanks for letting us get back into it. I think this was a little bit of a slow episode, but it was fun and nice to kind of meander through it.
Mm-hmm.
And we will pick up the pace and get back to this thing. We're excited for it. We've got one interview booked coming up that we're really looking forward to, or almost booked.
Not
I think
booked. We got
a person.
I told her I would reach out to her in 10 days, and that was 2 months.
She'll
and 20
understand.
days ago.
She'll understand. But yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. It's nice to be back.
Bye.
Bye.